We're not Republican lights. We're not Democrat lights. We're not socially liberal and economically conservative. We are libertarians, and that's our weapon. You know, the other parties have money, but they don't have something we have. We have principles, we have ideals, and we have sound ideas on liberty, and that's what we need to fight with.
So obviously Ron Paul was running as a Republican, and one of the big problems for libertarian candidates for president is access to the presidential debate stage. And you probably know the data, but the Republican and Democrat cartels keep raising the bar to qualify to be on the stage by the standards held to Ross Perot in, was that 1990? I think that was. Gary Johnson absolutely should have been on the stage in the last presidential cycle, but they keep changing the rules. So can a libertarian candidate get on that stage? Because one of the reasons that Ron Paul took off was that he had access to the stage.
That's right. And it's a protection racket. I mean, that's all it is. The way I look at it is you don't really have two major political parties. You have one party, the Welfare Warfare Party, that is divided into two wings, sort of like the National Football League's divided into two conferences or divisions. It's one party divided into two wings, and they're fighting over control. That's all they're fighting over, the control over the money and the power. But they're threatened by third parties and independents, and so they look for every way to protect themselves from that competition. Ballot access laws, campaign finance limits. I mean, look what Eugene McCarthy did in that New Hampshire primary against Lyndon Johnson. I mean, that really was the catalyst that would ultimately cause Johnson to drop out of the race and Bobby Kennedy to get into the race. But McCarthy was funded by about 4 or 5 people that were free to give as much money as they wanted to his campaign. They saw that, the Democrats and Republicans. That's what campaign finance limits are all about. So when they limit us to $2,800 a person, they know we don't have a big base of support. But we have wealthy people in this movement that could fund us to the tune of $1 million with one donation, and they won't permit that to happen. They've got these petitioning requirements. They've got these debate requirements where they say 15% in the polls and 20% of the polls. And if we ever get close to that, you know they're going to raise it again. All right, so what we just have to keep educating people on is that is part of this protection racket, and that if people want us to be on that stage, then they need to start responding in these polls that we're going to vote libertarianism, we're going to vote libertarian in order to get libertarians more prominently featured, and preferably in these presidential debates. I mean, in a sense, we have to earn our way into that, but that depends on the American electorate. If they like what we stand for and they want us and they're challenging this one-party system divided into two wings, then they've got to start responding in a way that causes us to increase in the polls.